Get ready for Netflix's gripping new medical drama, Pulse. Set in a cutting-edge Miami trauma center, third-year resident Dr. Danny Sims is unexpectedly thrust into a promotion when beloved chief resident Dr. Xander Phillips gets suspended. Then, with the emotional and physical stakes at their highest, a storm will push the hospital and its residents to their limits. Witness how life can change in a heartbeat when you're operating under pressure. Watch Pulse April 3rd, only on Netflix.
This is Eric Brotman, the host of Don't Retire, Graduate, the podcast that asks you what you want to be when you grow up so you can graduate into retirement with purpose and with passion. Welcome to our Diary of a Financial Advisor segment, where we interview financial advisors about their professional journeys and their passion for helping others succeed. Today we have a very special guest. Kirby Ososki is joining us from BFG. She's relatively new to BFG, but not to our industry. And she's, in fact, not a financial advisor by training, but has been in this arena now for 18 years. Kirby, welcome to Don't Retire, Graduate.
Thank you so much for having me, Eric. I'm excited.
So can you tell us a little bit about what attracted you to this industry? I mean, you know, you're talking about an industry that really does recruit in a strange way. So did you come into this in as strange a way as a lot of others?
I did come into this in a strange way. While I did major in business and communications in college, I truly had no idea what I really wanted to do with that. Fast forward, I graduated, was working at a jewelry store locally, and a broker who had been in the business for quite some time, I sold him some jewelry and a actually Raven Swarovski crystal purse. And next thing you know, I ended up interviewing at then Ferris Baker Watts, probably a name that's familiar to a lot of Baltimore locals, and the rest is history. So I have been in the financial industry about 18 years now.
So do you still have a working knowledge of the 4 C's?
Oh my goodness. No.
Well, see, isn't it amazing how it goes right out of your head when you're not in it? I'm not going to try and attempt that, but your homework is now to remember the 4 C's in case anyone out there is looking for jewelry. So your journey began at a larger firm, and now you're in a more of a boutique environment with our team of 20. How has that been different for you? You had come from a much larger organization. How is this a different animal entirely?
It's a different animal in a really good way. I feel very supported by the team, and our back office is fantastic. I like being able to talk to the same team of people all the time. And at the other larger clearing firms, you didn't always have that experience. So it made our jobs a little tougher. The support, the collaboration here is just fantastic. Everybody is a big team.
So, I remember the movie. Did you see the movie Office Space?
Yes.
Okay. So do you remember during the interview with the Bob, she said, so what would you say you do here? I'm going to ask you that question because it sounds fun. Since you're not a financial advisor, maybe our audience doesn't really know what a registered client service associate is. So tell us a little bit about what your day looks like and what your role is becoming.
So my job is dependent on work that I receive from clients or work that I receive from the advisors that I support. So when you have a meeting with your financial advisor and he recommends you buy a security or open an account, I am the one carrying out the operational tasks of opening the account, transferring the funds, entering the trade. While I am licensed to provide securities advice, I leave that to the professionals.
So we've talked to a number of folks on this diary segment, some of whom are the CFP practitioners in the firm, some of whom are other folks who aren't CFPs but are supporting the team in different ways. And so you mentioned that you're the one who sort of makes things happen. So the advisor renders advice or the client requests counsel, but then it must generate an obscene number of tasks. Like you must be very, very meticulous and the ultimate multitasker.
Yes, I have to admit that's something that I have always said about myself and definitely about this position in general. You kind of have to be very detail oriented and realize that there's always a process. There's always step by step by step. And that's kind of what, like I always said, what I'm here for. So the financial advisors have the big picture, and then we kind of put it together behind the scenes.
So one of the things that is easy for financial advisors to do is to understand how our work impacts the clients and their family and the people we serve. It's a little harder in your role sometimes to measure that impact or to feel that impact. In what ways are you able to cross that bridge so that you can actually feel some of the joy and satisfaction that comes out of being an advisor and actually helping a family?
It is very rewarding to know that our clients are satisfied, they're happy, they feel confident in their move to retirement. So if I receive an email that says, "Oh, Kirby, thank you for your efficiency," or "Thank you for helping me with this," that just makes me feel excellent. And the advisors also are wonderful about, they're very grateful that we opened this account and completed this rollover so, quickly, things like that. So it's something that, like you said, we don't always receive notice or recognize, but when we do, it's great.
So for all of the BFG clients who happen to be watching this episode, Kirby's love language is positive affirmation. So if you're able to send her positive affirmation by email, that will go a long way. It's, some of the joy that comes out of doing what we do is less obvious when you're handling some of the back office, some of the blocking and tackling. The wide receivers and the quarterback gets all the attention, but without a good offensive line, you can't move down the field. So you're kind of an offensive lineman. I mean, you're kind of blocking for us to make sure that happens. So what is as a relatively new BFGer, you've seen that there are a lot of different, not only career paths, but a lot of different ways to grow educationally and academically and professionally. And what are you dreaming up for the next period of time?
That is a great question. I really want to settle in, and there is a thing around here called the BFG way, and it's an excellent way, but it is a different way than, I've known things before. So really embracing that, learning that, and hopefully just, helping the advisors, helping my teammates, the other client associates who are fantastic. So I think just ultimately being a team player and watching and helping BFG grow.
Well, you have become an incredible asset to the firm. You're also rivaling a few of us who consider ourselves very good at karaoke. So I will throw out to the audience, if you ever get a chance to see Kirby perform, she's actually quite entertaining at the karaoke microphone. I'm not going to give your karaoke nickname or what have you. She's also pushing a number of us on the Peloton too. So you've become part of the group that's making sure we're all staying healthy and that we're all smiling and that we're all having fun and that we're all doing a good job. So I am so glad to have you as a member of this team. I have to ask you though, because our whole premise of this show is that we never retire. We graduate and we mature and we evolve. Well, the women mature and evolve. The guys just graduate. We don't actually mature at all. And we can't multitask, so that's why that would be impossible. But what do you want to be when you grow up?
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that I like Peloton because when I grow up, I want to be a Peloton instructor.
So there's going to be a side hustle here? Or
there's going to be a side hustle, maybe a main hustle. Yeah.
Well, a main hustle. All right. So we're going to have a job posting here any minute.
When I retire.
When you graduate, you're going to graduate to being a Peloton instructor.
Yes.
I love that. We can start with the group here, and you can start by putting on a clinic for all of us.
You got it.
Showing us how to do it.
Yes.
Well, Kirby, thank you. Thank you for spending some time. This really has become an important part of our show. It's become a part of our corporate culture. It's become a part of our messaging, and being able to have folks who aren't per se financial advisors talk about what means something to them has become special, and I appreciate you taking part.
Thank you, Eric. It was a pleasure.
I'd like to thank all of you for listening and watching today. If you enjoy our show, please subscribe and leave a rating on your favorite podcast platform. Those are priceless to us. Please also share it with your family and friends so they can join you on your journey to financial freedom. If you'd like to send us a topic we might discuss on a future episode of Don't Retire, Graduate, post it on our Facebook page or tweet us at Brotman Planning. We'll be back next week with another engaging guest, and in 2 weeks with another entry in our diary of a financial advisor. For now, this is your host, Eric Brotman, reminding you, don't retire, graduate.
Securities offered through Kestra Investment Services, LLC. Kestra IS. Member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Kestra Advisory Services, LLC. Kestra AS. An affiliate of Kestra IS. Kestra IS or Kestra AS are not affiliated with Brotman Financial or any other entity discussed.
Welcome, change agents, to your go-to place for stories that ignite your spirit, fuel your purpose, and connect us all. We believe in the incredible power of the human spirit, its boundless resilience, and the inspiration it brings to our lives. On the Driving Change podcast, we'll journey together through the extraordinary yet very relatable experiences of some of the most amazing people on earth. Our mission? That through these stories, we might just spark change within you and awaken a newfound motivation to harness your unique gifts to make a real difference in the world. So get ready to be inspired and join us on this incredible adventure. You can find the Driving Change podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you love listening to your favorite podcasts.